Hey guys, Anasada here back again doing another movie review, and today we'll be reviewing Cars 2. Now, Cars 2 is directed by Andrew Lasseter and features another really huge cast, so if you guys want to skip over the names, just skip like 20 seconds. So it features Larry the Cable Guy, Michael Caine, Emily Mortimer, Owen Wilson, Joe Mantegna, Thomas Kretschmann, John Turturro, Tony Schultz, Eddie Izzard, Peter Jacobson, Guido Coroni, Bruce Campbell, and Franco Nero. So the plot of Cars 2 is it is very different than the first one, actually, like so drastically different from the first one. And so the plot here is a lot different, and it revolves around spies. And so like spy cars. And so we follow with this one dude, this like one spy car named Finn McMissile. And so so he's always like undercover, he's always doing a mission, and like he's on this mission to see like what these new group of criminals of cars are doing. And it turns out that they have created a weapon. They've created this really strong weapon, a video camera. But the video camera actually is a triggers something, and it triggers like if you turn the video camera on, I don't know what it's called, but if you turn the switch on the video camera, then it can explode a car, because like there's this gas that these cars have been using. And so whenever they aim the camera at the what was I gonna say at the cars, then they explode. Yeah, and so Finn McMissile is trying to investigate on that, and what was I gonna say? So yeah, and like there's this whole oil headquarters that the group of criminals have. They call themselves the Lemons. Yeah, because these group of criminals, like, they're called lemons because that's what they call cars that don't really work well. And so they've always been picked on by that for so long. Like, they've always been made fun of, always laughed at, because they're cars that don't really work well. They're lemons. And so they hate that so much, and so they want to stand up to themselves and laugh at them, and show them that like lemons are actually strong. Yeah. So yeah, just Finn McMissile and this other spy named Holly Shiftwell, like, they're investigating on it. And then Mater and then we follow up with Mater and Lightning McQueen, which Mater wait, I'll get into that once I'm done talking about the plot. But Mater and McQueen are going to Tokyo, or this race called World Grand Prix, where you travel all around the east side of the world, like Tokyo, England, London, or what else? There's England, and then there's Italy. Yeah. Yeah. So they're basically just traveling the world. Let me think. So yeah, McQueen just joins. Mater joins McQueen on this because like McQueen feels forced to bring him. Like, he's just bringing him because he's like, okay, yeah, he's my best friend. I'll bring him. Because Lightning McQueen usually never brings Mater to his races. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about the plot? So yeah, and Lightning McQueen's also trying to battle this other race car who he is very jealous of, who he really hates. They both hate each other because they both think like each of them is better than one another, and that is Francesco Bernoulli. Like, Francesco Bernoulli is this really fast Italian car. Yeah, and he's basically just trying to battle him. Yeah, and then Mater accidentally comes across the spies. Like, there was this one American spy who had like all this evidence and all these pictures that he was supposed to give to Finn McMissile, but instead he gives it to Mater because he gets beat the shit out of, and he was almost gonna die, so he gives it to Mater before he died, but very accidentally though, and Mater didn't even know like there was something in him. So yeah, so he just very accidentally comes across the spies. And so once he goes to the spies, he agrees to help the spies too. Yeah, so that's basically the whole plot of Cars 2. Now, do I like Cars 2? It's alright. I mean, the first Cars is way better, but this one's okay. I mean, it's very watchable. Like, it's very mediocre, but it's enjoyable as fuck though. Like, if I'm marathoning Cars, which I don't really do often, whenever I watch Cars, I just go to the first one. But if I'm marathoning Pixar and I come to this one, I'm just like, oh fuck it, yeah, it's watchable, it's solid. Yeah. Let me think. So yeah, like I said, it's enjoyable, but it's just like it's all right. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff in it. Like the story's kind of weird. It's the story's not even that interesting either. Most of these characters aren't that interesting either. Mater kind of gets annoying at times. But there are a lot of stuff that I like about the movie, though. Don't get me wrong. I'll get into that in a bit. Um, so yeah, let's just talk about the characters of this movie, which we get around to Mater. Which Mater, he was fine in this movie. Like, I like Mater in the first one better, but it was so unnecessary to have Mater be the main role of this movie, because this is a lot more Mater's movie than it is of Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen doesn't even get much screen time in this movie. Like, he's more of just a secondary character. Our main focus is Mater. So that's basically what the movie does. And I didn't think that was such a good idea, actually. Like maybe if you wanted to go for a spy movie, maybe have, I mean, would that have been a good idea? Because right now I'm thinking, like, would it be a good idea if McQueen helped the spies out instead? No, that would have been pretty bad too. But yeah, just the whole idea of Mater being the main character. I mean, it's weird, but I can look past it. Like, it's whatever. Yeah. But Mater's character, I liked his character a lot in this movie. He had a pretty good character. And I found a bit of relatment to him, cause like Mater, like, he's not normal. Like, he's not normal at all. Like, he's kind of mentally challenged a bit. And he's always like very silly, and everyone's always laughing at him. Like, once he gets to Tokyo, McQueen like right away feels embarrassed about Mater. Like, he feels embarrassed to call him a friend. Like, he feels embarrassed to be around him, cause Mater's always doing so much embarrassing stuff. Yeah, like, when they arrive right away, like, he just goes to this guy who's just picking up grass, and he's like, "You done good. You done all the leaves." And then, like, he's even like eating like a really spicy hummus, and then like drinking the water that's on stage where Lightning McQueen is, where everyone's watching. Yeah, like the drinking fountain, like the falling water. Yeah. Yeah, so he's just being so embarrassing, but he's not really aware of that much. But he doesn't have a problem with being himself, actually, because he's just always himself, and he doesn't have a problem with it. But McQueen definitely does have a problem with it. Yeah. So yeah, and it's later on. I'm gonna get into just a little bit of spoilers in this movie, but I'm not gonna get into like full spoilers, because I'm sure like not many people have seen this movie. Like, this is definitely one of the least popular Pixar movies. But I remember I saw this movie when I was like 6 years old in the theaters. Like, we went to go see it in the theaters, and I really loved it as a 6 year old. And I bought the DVD, and I would rewatch it so much, just like I did the first one. Well, my mom told me I actually rewatched the first one a lot more than I rewatched the second one. But I rewatched this one a lot too. I love this one as a kid, but once you get older, like it just kind of like wears off, you know. Like, it doesn't work. Like this movie only works when you're a kid, actually. Um, Let me think. Anything else I say? So yeah, and then when Mater accidentally comes across the spies, like, he just feels like he could help them. Like, he keeps telling them, like, "Hey guys, I'm just a tow truck. Like, I'm not like you guys. Like, I'm not a spy." They just always ignore them. They're just like, "Mater, you can still help us." Yeah, but Mater still, he still likes helping them. Like, you can tell, like, he's really making friends with these people, with Finn McMissile and Holly, and he even has a crush on Holly, and he's just enjoying helping them out, and I really like that a lot about him. Is there anything else I should say about Mater? Oh yeah, there's even a part in the movie where where McQueen even shuts out Mater because like Mater accidentally makes McQueen lose the race because he's like yelling out so much random stuff in the microphone, but he's actually talking to his to Holly, but like McQueen can hear too. Let me think. So yeah, he shuts him out, and he's like, I don't need your help. I don't want your help. And so that really makes him sad and makes him leave, and then that's when he accidentally comes across the spies. Let me think. So yeah, Mater was fine in this movie, and I like the stuff in the end where Mater finds out that everyone has been laughing at him, that he is not normal, like he's not a normal person at all, and everyone's always laughing at him, like everything he does, and he barely now sees that, and so he feels very like sad about it, and he even realizes that if he does something very serious, like if he saves the world, no one's gonna take him seriously. And I can very much relate to that actually, because every time I try to do something serious, people don't take me seriously every time. Yeah, and I'm 16 and they still don't take me seriously. Yeah. What was I gonna say? So yeah, I can definitely have a lot of relatment to Mater in this movie. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say? So yeah, Mater, he was fine, but the thing is, at times he gets kind of annoying. Like, he gets a bit annoying at times. Like, he's just yelling at some random ass shit, and he's just, like, I don't know, like, at times, like, he kind of, like, just gets irritating. Like, just yelling out, like, some, I don't know, like, he's just yelling out, like, stuff that is not really important, and just random ass shit. Yeah, so, other than that, he was fine in the movie. Now let's get on to the other characters of the spies. What's his name? What's his name again? Oh, Finn McMissile. Yeah, Finn McMissile. He was okay. I mean, he wasn't that interesting of a character, but he was cool at times. Like all the times when he was in action and all of that, fighting all the lemons, fighting the bad cars. He was cool in those scenes, but his whole character wasn't really that interesting. How he was just a spy car, which I just find the whole spy thing in this movie to just be very, very silly. Um, yeah, but like, yeah, I would just say like I wasn't very interested in Finn McMissile. Wasn't that much of an interesting character. Same was Holly Shiftwell too. Not really an interesting character either. But it was funny to see Mater having a crush on her, and them two like slowly and slow, like very very slowly falling in love. Yeah, but like the whole love relationship is not like a huge thing in the movie. So yeah, just those two characters were definitely the least interesting. And then we get on to Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen was fine in this movie. I mean, all the characters, like, all the characters could have been much better, actually. Because Lightning McQueen, he is nowhere near as good as he was in the first one. But he was okay in this movie. Like, I liked how he was still, like, eager to win the race and all of that. But, like, he misses his friend, though. Like, he regrets, like, saying all those stuff to his friend. But the thing I hate most about Lightning McQueen in this movie is another character too, which is Francesco, which I would definitely call him my least favorite character of this whole movie, because he is just so fucking annoying. Francesco is just like literally irritating. I can't get into his character. Literally, all he is just this douche. Like he's just this asshole who's always just like, Lightning McQueen, I'm better than you. I'm gonna win this fucking race, and I'm gonna be better than you. I always win. I'm the number one. That's basically his whole character in this movie, and he just gets so annoying. That's all he says throughout this whole movie. It just gets so annoying. And then, the even more annoying part is how whenever he's with Lightning McQueen, like, he's always like, Lightning McQueen, you're a loser. KO. You, Lightning McQueen, and this is what you're gonna see when I'm winning you. And they're always just like picking on each other and just hating on each other and just like talking crap about each other. And like, I mean, if you do that once or twice in a movie, then it'd be fine. But it's just constant in this movie, constantly, and like throughout this whole movie, and it just gets so annoying, like so irritating. And it's just like, okay, we get it now. You guys hate each other. Shut the fuck up now. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's basically, like, my biggest flaw with the movie, actually. Not just the spy stuff. I mean, I could easily look past the spy stuff, but this whole stuff just always gets on my nerves. Yeah, but I liked Lightning McQueen. Other than that, I liked Lightning McQueen. Like, I liked how he's just always racing. Like, he wants to, like, he's just racing, but he's sad about his friend. And he's always getting so much advice from all his other friends about his best friend. Yeah, and what was I gonna say? So yeah, and I just really like how caring he was for Mater too, and that's definitely Mater's best friend right there. Yeah, but so yeah, he was fine. Who else should I talk about? Now let's talk about the villains to this movie. With Professor Zundap and the Acer and the Acer and the Gremlin. Yeah, they were fine in the movie. I thought they were pretty cool villains. I like their whole story arc, how they're just broken cars and that they've always been laughed at, and they're gonna be the ones that are gonna stand up for themselves and laugh at the big ones, like the big famous race cars that can that literally are not broken at all, and like they're gonna kill them and laugh at them instead. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool villain choice. Like I thought that was a cool like villain plot to the movie. Yeah, it was cool. Um, yeah, so the villains they were fine. Professor Zundap, I mean, I wish he had more of a character. Like he didn't really have much of a character to this movie, but he was all right. Yeah, same with the Gremlin and the Creme and the Acre. I mean, they were all right. Let me think. Anyone else? And then there's the other characters from Radiator Springs who are don't even have any characters at all. I mean, Luigi and Guido sort of have characters, but they're mostly just to the background. It's basically all the people in Radiator Springs, like the whole gang, like Sally, Matt, what's his name, Lizzie, Fillmore, Sarge, like they're all just in the background actually. Like that's all that's their whole characters. But I just wish they had their own characters like in the first Cars. That would have been so cool. That would have made this movie so much better if the Radiator Springs crew like was helping out and like they had their full characters, because I really loved them in the first Cars, but here they're just like thrown away to the back. Yeah. Let me think. But I do find Luigi and Guido to be funny at times, like, because they have the most screen time than any of the other people from Radiator Springs. And Radiator Springs, the town, only makes 2 appearances in the movie. Which, that's what I've always hated about the sequels, is they give us so less of Radiator Springs. Like, imagine how much good these Cars sequels would be if Radiator Springs was in the whole movie again, and Radiator Springs had a big role. And literally, each car sequel completely avoids Radiator Springs. I love Radiator Springs so much. Like, just bring it back. Like, it's such a beautiful town. Yeah, I just really hate that so much. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say? So yeah, that's all the characters in this movie. I mean, they were okay. Let's talk about the setting to this movie. That is another really big praise I could say to this movie, actually. Like, a huge praise is the setting, the animation, the scenery is beautiful, actually. Like, all the places they go to, like Tokyo, how it looks super colorful, super eye-popping, and super neon. It's just so beautiful. Like all the scenes when they're like when they're in different countries, like it just looks so beautiful. The way they captured Italy looks so beautiful too. England too just looked very eye popping. Yeah, the animation and the scenery is a huge praise to this movie. Now let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack, another really huge praise to this movie. I love the soundtrack so much. I actually like the soundtrack to this movie a bit better than the soundtrack to the first Cars, actually, because this soundtrack was very, very lit, like very very ongoing. Yeah, with the whole like it had like a dark theme, but I thought it was really cool. Like it goes like it's just so awesome. Yeah. And then I like all the other music too, like the background music, like you might think I'm crazy to hang around with you. Yeah, just all the other music too was so beautiful too. So yeah, the soundtrack was a big bonus to this movie. So with the comic relief to this movie, some of the comic relief worked for me, but some of it didn't. So yeah, comic relief was eh. So the pacing to this movie, the pacing is another big negative to this movie. What was I gonna say? So yeah, the pacing, like, it's not very paced well. Like, it's not timed well. Most of the scenes, like, and this movie goes by really slow, actually. This movie is like an hour, and it's close to being an hour and 50 minutes. Like, I think it's like an hour 47, I think. But it goes by really slow, and you really feel the runtime. Yeah. And what's his name? Andrew Lasseter. I felt like he could have like done a better job with making this movie because he's the fucking maker of the first two Toy Stories, and he made the first Cars too, and he could have done a way better job with making this movie. Um, Anything else I should say? And I would. This movie tries to be suspenseful too at times, like with like the action sequences and like certain stuff happening, but it just doesn't work. Like you just don't care about what's gonna happen to these characters, and yeah. So I feel like the suspense like wasn't really all that exciting. Now let's talk about let's just talk about some scenes that I love, like my huge positive to the movie. Like I said, the soundtrack and the scenery are huge positives, and there are a couple of scenes that I really like too. Like I like all the racing scenes in the movie. When like all the racing scenes, and then when the cars get destroyed. What other scenes do I like? I like the scenes where Mater and the spies are like flying around the whole country or the continent. Yeah, I like all those scenes, like that scene where they're like in London and they're like trying to find like the tiny blue car, and then the headlight scene. That thing was funny when they're just in a gift shop, and then Mater like goes to this girl who doesn't even have eyes on her windows. Her eyes are where the headlights are. Then Mater was like, "Excuse me, what are you selling here? Headlights? You want headlights?" Yeah, that thing was so funny on so many levels. Uh, Let me think. So yeah, there were other scenes I liked too. Like I liked all the action sequences in the movie. Like when like yeah, I already said that when McMissile like fights the people. The whole airport scene I thought was pretty cool too. Let me think. And I really like the end to the movie too in London where they put a bomb in Mater's hood. Yeah, where they put a bomb in Mater's hood, and like Mater is trying to hide from it. He's trying to avoid Lightning McQueen. He's trying to avoid everyone else, and then like even Finn McMissile is trying to capture Professor Zundap, and then like, oh yeah, this part was really cool, where the boat is like has a magnet in it. It's like trying to take Finn McMissile, but like because it has a magnet on it, it's taking everything that's inside Finn McMissile, and then like sometime later it takes his bombs too. Like it actually takes his bombs, which I thought that scene was really cool when the bombs are on the magnet, and then the boat looks so terrified, and then it explodes. Yeah, that scene was awesome. Let me think. Anything else I should say? So yeah, and I really like the ending of the movie too in Radiator Springs when they're racing in Radiator Springs and Mater has the jet. Oh yeah, the Mater's jetpack. I love that too. And then I love Mater's computer voice too. How he can go in disguise and then he can take a machine like Gatling guns out of him, and then he can make a parachute go out of him. Yeah, it's so funny. And then there's this other funny scene too with this other tow truck who's like the villain the bad tow truck, where McQueen thinks it's Mater, but then it's him, and then he even tells him, "You will be finished at the finish line." Yeah, that was so funny. I'm not saying that's funny because like it's like a hilarious joke. It's funny because it's bad line delivery too. You will be finished at the finish line. So bad. Yeah, but anything else I should say? Let me think. So yeah, the whole ending scene with the race was cool. Like when everyone at the World Grand Prix met everyone at Radiator Springs, and even the couple from the first movie come back too. You know, the couple that was trying to find directions, but the husband was like, "We don't need to find directions." Like that couple comes back. I thought that was funny. Let me think. So yeah, this movie is alright. Yeah. So to rate this movie, I'll probably rate it a solid B. Yeah. Bye, and see you all in the next review.